everybody. Welcome back to the Raw Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on today. But before we get started, you know how we do it. Go right down here, go in your settings and find your subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis. We all know what it is. It's that unrelenting beast of an algorithm. I really, really would appreciate it. And right down here, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will support my little channel in growing, improving, and just continuing. And I will be so, 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 so grateful for that support. I promise you I will. And I have an announcement. We have a new channel member, and her name is Laree Kilpatrick. Lareese, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for just deciding to support my little channel. It is not lost on me how many channels it is here on YouTube. Hundreds of thousands, I am sure. And for you to see my little channel and say, you know what? I really see something in that. So I am going to support it. It means the world to me. And I just appreciate it so, 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 so much. And since you are a new channel member, you can go over to our community page and your official welcome to the reading club will be posted over there. And I want everybody to go over and show Marie some love. Go over there and show her some love because we are so thrilled, so very thrilled to have her in the reading club. Also, one other reason I am so happy today, beside that, Larice becoming a member, a channel member, because it's been a really good day. I'm just gonna put it out there. This has been a great day. I wake up and there's Larice signed up to be a channel member. Sign up for the reading club, and that always makes my day. Anytime I see a new channel member, my day is made. That's it. And then I look and I have surpassed 3,000 subscribers. So I am like over the moon and into the stars because not only do I have a new channel member, but I also have 3,000 subscribers, something I never ever thought that would happen when I started this channel. I was a little discouraged, I must say, but I just want to give a really, really just a heartfelt thank you to my first subscribers. And y'all know who y'all are. And I would put up a video and I would get like 8 views or something like that. And those first subscribers would just encourage me, give me tips on how to grow my channel, and really do things to help me to grow my channel. And I am just so grateful to them because I would have quit without them. I must say I would because it's kind of hard to make content and nobody watches it. But they just kept on encouraging me and kept on, saying that this is a good channel. You need to continue, keep putting out good content. And here I am at 3,000 subscribers. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of my subscribers and to my very first subscribers. Y'all know who y'all are because I be in there talking to y'all all the time. Y'all know exactly who y'all are. And I am just so very grateful to all of y'all. I cannot believe it. 3,000 subscribers. I'm going to do over 3,000 subscribers. I have to do my Oprah impression. And I'll tell you another reason why it's a great day today. I'm telling you, I have had the best day. I had Larice to sign up as a channel member. I went over 3,000 subscribers. And I get on X, formerly known as Twitter. And guess who the squatties have decided to drag today? My favorite person, yes, Charles's horse. They are dragging her today, and I get to do it myself. Y'all know it's always a good day when I get to drag Camilla. So, how could it get any better? I don't know. Only way it could get better, it would be my birthday. And that's not to next month. So, I am so thrilled. So, let's get to the read, y'all. Yeah, so y'all know I have had a really, really great day. Thrilling, thrilling day. So let's get to the read because I'm gonna do something I love, love, love doing, and that's dragging Camilla. So I got to get to it. But when I was putting the read together today, of course, I was in these internet streets just having a good time. Because, like I said, I was over on Instagram, and Instagram is a little more subdued than X is. So they're over there pretty much talking about the week in review, just looking back at all the things that Prince Harry has done. And he has done a lot. And we're going to do a little of that at the end of this podcast. But yes, he's done so much. And when you think about it, he was just working so fast, and you just didn't have a chance just to appreciate each and everything that he did. And so that's what they're kind of doing over on Instagram. And I really enjoyed being over there, seeing all the what they had to say. Yeah, all the squatties over there on Instagram. I mean, they were just and it was pictures. I have new pictures that I hadn't saw before of Halo Trust, of African parks. So yeah, I'm gonna share those later. But yeah, I really enjoyed it over there. And I did quite a bit of reading. And I got something I'm gonna bring to y'all tomorrow. I'm not gonna do it today because I really didn't I've been had and I will not this video is not gonna be heavily edited either. I'm not gonna have a whole lot of pictures or whatever in there because I really didn't have time because I had such a busy day, but I meant I was going to bring something to my readers today. So this would not be, I might not have all the pictures in there. You know how I say this, and I'm going to put something there. It might not happen today because I'm just really trying to get my podcast out today. And I hope y'all would be patient with me and love me through it because I just have had a busy, busy day. But like I said, when I was putting the read together today, I was over on X too. And of course, X is a little messier, a little pettier, a little you know, it's X. It's a little more gangster over on X. And they are over there dragging William as usual, the squatties are, because they are so sick and tired of his nonsense. All his attacks on Megan, they are still mad about that. And they're over there skull dragging Bozo, they call him Bojo over across the pond, uh, Boris Johnson for just absolutely clout chasing on Harry's name. Using Harry to try to sell that dumb memoir that he's wrote, and it doesn't have anything to do with Harry. Harry sit down with him for 20 minutes. He is bad as Angela Levin. Angela Levin got 30 minutes with Harry, and she wrote a book and has made a career out of being a Harry expert. You know what I'm saying? Harry's biographer. And she had 30 whole minutes with Harry. It's just nonsense. And here he is, had 20 minutes with Harry, and now he's promoting his book saying that he had a conversation with Harry. I mean, it's like also, that's the way what's his name? Jabbo did wrote a book about Kate, and everything that all the excerpts that he dropped was about Harry and Meghan. Didn't have nothing to do with her. How do you write a book and don't have and talk about anything but the person that you wrote the book about? It is the craziest thing. But the squatties are not happy with him about that. And I'm just gonna say this. I see where the palace has decided to push back on his claim that he was enlisted by Buckingham Palace to talk to Harry about not leaving, the royal family. Well, he couldn't leave the royal family, but not leaving the firm. And they are calling him a flat out liar. They sure are. But when you're dealing with two liars calling each other a lie, you don't really know who to believe. Because we all know that Johnson is nothing but a known liar. And we also know that Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace are nothing but liars. They don't do nothing but lie and plant stories, and something can be true and they'll still say it's a lie. So I tend to want to believe Boris Johnson more than I do Buckingham Palace, but really, who will know when two liars call each other a lie? I tell you, who will know? You'll never know what the truth is, really. How are you gonna figure that one out? But yeah, that's happening, and that's one reason why the squatties are skull dragging him because they want him to leave Harry's name out of his mouth. Stop it. And of course, they are skull dragging my favorite, Camilla. Yes, and they're skull dragging her because of this. We kind of touched on it yesterday, but she had took her little salty tears and cried the cup full and took it over there to Tom Sykes the way they do. And the way we know that's who did it, her and Charles. I think it was probably her and Charles together because it says sources. And because anytime you see that word exclusive, yeah. Anytime it's exclusive is on there, it's them. They are talking to him. And and the squatters are really not having it because we're tired of her. She has used Harry as much as we want to allow her to do so without her mm, being introduced to the pushback. Us squatties, we will introduce you to the pushback. And we don't have any problem with energy. I know I don't have no problem with the pushback. Y'all know me. I have no problem with the pushback. And that's exactly what I'm going to do today. With this nonsense article she done enlisted Tom Sykes to write, trying to paint Harry into this person who she act like she got to protect her husband from, because like Harry's gonna walk in there, if Charles said he's gonna see Harry, like Harry's gonna walk in there and kick over tables and throw down lamps or something. Harry is nothing but respectful and grace. He is he's a poster child for have someone to have grace when people treat him like dirt. He has had grace for all those people over there. He has never said anything except he loved his family and he wanted a family and not a firm. But he has come to terms with the fact that he know he's not going to get that. And we're going to talk about that later too. But we're going to get into this article that this wicked witch of the West has went over to Tom Sykes and got him to write, trying to, I don't know, to think, get people to think that Harry is this big bad wolf that somehow is going to attack her cancer stricken husband. The cancer stricken husband that we don't know what kind of cancer it is. We don't know what kind of cancer Kate got, but I think they both got the same kind of cancer. And that's the kind that can get the stench, to get that stench of racism off of you. But in addition to his is a little different from Kate's because his is meant to get the stench of racism off of you and also to stop eggs from flying over your head. Because we all know before Charles got cancer and he first became king, everywhere he went, people was running to the store every time they heard that he was coming to buy eggs so they could throw over his head. And him and Camilla's too. They didn't spare her head at all. She was right there when all them eggs was breaking at her feet. Absolutely. And everywhere they went, the stores ran out of eggs because people was going to get the eggs because it had become a tradition. If the Royals was coming, if Charles and Camilla was coming, eggs had to be sold. They had to be sold out. And so this is what the cancer was for. And it seemed it did the trick. I mean, you don't hear him, eggs being thrown at him anymore, you know, and they don't talk about the stench of racism on him no more. So I guess it did what it needed to do, but not really because we will never let it die. It's not going to die. He's not going to die. It maybe work with the people in the UK, but the world as a whole, it would never work because we would never allow him to get away with it ever. I always talk about them eggs flying over his head. I will always talk about the stench of racism and him questioning what color, what tone, color tone his grandson was going to be. I'll never let him forget that racist remark. His concern about the skin tone of his grandson. That's what he wanted his cancer to get the stench of off of him. Let's not forget that. So this is what she done ran to Tom Sykes to try to paint Harry in a negative light, trying to justify their nonsense and their anger towards Harry because Harry told what they did to him. He told what she had did to him. And we all know what she did. She absolutely used this little boy whose mother had died. She decided to use him as a whipping boy, as a scapegoat, and something to feed to the tabloids so she could be queen. So Charles could be forgiven by the public of the way he had treated Diana. They sacrificed his son and then they lied to the world, and the world turned their eyes away from them. And we didn't know what was going on. We thought they did what they said they was going to do because they said when after Diana and all the stalking and uh, the killing of Diana, that they were going to let her sons grow up out of the bright lights of the media. They were going to leave them alone until they became adults. But we turned our heads, but little did we know that that's not what they were doing. They was using Harry and William, but mostly Harry, to clear the way. This PR guy that they hired used Harry in every way, and Harry always said that he didn't feel like he fit into that family. He didn't feel right in that family. And they used to tell him, ignore it. That's what Charles said. Ignore it, darling boy. While he was feeding Harry to the wolves all at the same time, he was calling him darling boy. That's what Charles did. And his horse. So they can stop it. Nobody is never going to forget it. You can have all kinds of cancer. It is never going to get the stench of the things that you have done off of you. Because as long as it is one squatty left in this world, we will be talking about it. And that's their concern. And I see that in this article. So let's get a little bit into the article and then we'll talk even more. It says, I'm not going to call her queen. I'm going to call her Charles's horse. Okay, let's just get that straight. Uh, Charles's horse wants King Charles to skip meeting with Prince Harry. Sources, exclusive. So we know it's from them. A friend of the queen told the Daily Beast she wants the king to take things easy. The last thing she wants him to do is to get stressed out over meeting with Harry. Like I said, like Harry gonna come in there and kick the door in, turn over tables, knock over lamps or something like that. Instead of coming there like he always have come in there with nothing but respect, and get Harry gives Charles respect that he hadn't earned. He has not earned it as a father. Charles is a fair father. He's a fair grandfather. He's a fair man, period. But still, Harry gives him grace. Harry respects him. And if you read Spare, you'll see that he spared him. He did not talk about him. He always gave him some deference in that book. Because Harry could really have went in on him the way Charles told him that his mother had passed. Just came in there, told the little boy, when I say a little boy told him that his mother had died. Just said that she was in a car accident. She didn't make it, darling boy, and touched him on his knee and left him for hours and hours and hours in that room to process that his mother had passed. That is mental torture. But yet and still, he wants Harry to feel some kind of way about him. Charles is a fair father. Charles is a fair grandfather. He just is. And see, Harry did not go in on him like he could have went in on him and should have went in on him, if you ask me. I'm just saying. But yeah, they trying to pay Harry as some kind of this person who's going to disturb him. And Harry is nothing but a man of grace. Stop it. Okay. It says, let me get to it. Where did I lose it? Y'all be patient with me because I ain't had a day like that today. I ain't had a day like this. And where did I do with it? Here it is. I lost it completely this time. Like I said, y'all be patient with me. I have had a day today. A happy day, but a day today. All right, I got it. Here we go. It says, King Charles III would like to meet with his son, Prince Harry, when he visits the UK. Well, why don't you do it? What's stopping you? I'm waiting. I know what's stopping you. Because you're a fair father. And you don't and really, this is what the deal is. The heir has no respect or no and shows no deference for Charles because now William, who has always been out of control, has never been disciplined in any kind of form or fashion. And he has his own money now, so Charles has no way of controlling him. And he shows no deference for Charles. And Harry, who has his own money now, still shows deference for Charles that he hasn't earned. And this is the problem. I don't understand why he can't see his son. I tell you the truth, I would be like Megan did her dad. That's the way Harry should do Charles. Should love him from afar, say I'm good, and just tell the press I'm not going to participate in this nonsense anymore. But pretty much Harry has said that. But they don't want to listen. They want to continue this narrative. But let's go on. It says, King Charles would like to meet with his son, Prince Harry, when he visits the UK next week, but is weighing counsel from advisors, including his wife, that it would be unwise to do so. Do you know what kind of person you have to be? And I had to censor that. Where you have to weigh and get advice from people figure out if you want to see your son that has never done anything to you, your son that you actually mistreated. And the only thing he did was to speak out on what you had done. And you, if I had been a parent who had did my child wrong and my child spoke out on it, I'll be trying to apologize to my child, but not Charles. Charles is somehow feel like he is somehow wrong by Harry telling his story. And I have said this time and time again, if you want people to speak well of you, treat them well. And if he had have treated Harry well, then Spare would have been a whole different book. So he needs to apologize, but he cannot see that. And then here he is still trying to make Harry out the bad guy. Should I see him or not? I don't know. I'm seeking advice. Like, what is Harry going to do? What is Harry going to do? He ain't going to come in there and knock over furniture. He going to come over in there and bow and be respectful like he's always has, which is really showing grace. Really showing grace, because if I had a parent who has treated me like that, I would have wrote them off a long time ago. I'm just saying. Because you have to protect your peace in this world, and you have to set boundaries for people, even your parents. But Harry has decided to continue being graceful. Okay. And then it says, Charles's horse wants Charles to skip a meeting with Harry to avoid stress. He's stressed as he fights cancer. One of the friends told the Daily Beast. Well, we all know what kind of cancer he's fighting. He's fighting the kind that gets the stench of racism and eggs flying over your head. We talked about that. It says some of his advisors are also urging caution and known to be exercised by the possibility of constitutional issues if Harry was to directly ask his father to intervene in his legal argument about his security provisions with the British government, technically his Majesty's government. Well, this is what I think about that. When they had that summit, it was the Queen, it was Charles, and it was William. The Queen was the sovereign. Wasn't Harry's security discussed in that meeting? Why is it some kind of constitutional problem when the sovereign discusses security of their family member? That's ridiculous. The Queen discussed it, and also the Queen instructed her secretary to write a letter saying that it was her wish for Harry and Meghan to have security. That was introduced in court. She was, and that was during the time Harry and Meghan was fighting for security. So why was the Queen not afraid of constitutional difficulties and tech? How did they do? Yeah, constitutional issues. She wasn't afraid of it. All of this is straight up BS. They don't want to get Harry and Meghan security because Harry and Meghan overshadows them. They don't want Harry and Meghan coming to the UK because they know that the UK people will love Harry and Meghan. They have never stopped loving Harry and Meghan, and the ones who have stopped will be won back over by Harry and Meghan. And they don't want that. And William told Tom Sykes in a couple of articles back, I think it was the one that he told everybody F off. And that was that the reason they did not want to give him security, Harry and Meghan security, because Harry and Meghan could show up anytime and could conflict with the royal diaries, do occasions, do charities or something like that that would conflict with the royal diaries. And we all know what that means. That Harry and Meghan could show up and overshadow them. They are scared. They live in Harry and Meghan's shadow. All of them do. They just do. And what they didn't, I don't, I think they know, but evidently they don't want to admit that Harry and Meghan is 5,000 miles away in Montecito, California, and Harry can go for a bike ride and overshadow William. Just going for a bike ride or going to the beach and throwing the ball with his dog, he can overshadow William. And Meghan go to lunch with one of her friends and overshadow them all. So they might as well give them security because they don't have to be in the UK to overshadow them. But this is an excuse, and it's ridiculous. And it's so pitiful. It just shows them how mediocre and pathetic they are. That they can't muster up. Look at William going to Scotland and Aberdeen. He could not muster up 3 people to show up. Not 3 people. 2 people said, hey, hey, Prince, hey, William. The one said Prince couldn't even think of his name. And he could not find a third one to show up. The barriers were leaning on the side of the building. And also, Charles, which I'm going to put it up here, Charles was in Edinburgh and his motorcade was going down the street and nobody paid him no mind. Nobody cared. And then he had a parade and nobody showed up. I'm going to put that right there. They are in trouble. It's on fire over there, but yet and still, they still talking nonsense like this, trying to make Harry and Meghan the problem, when in actuality, it's them. They're the problem. They need Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan do not need them. And they're too stupid and filled with pride to understand that. But it's too late now. It is no way Meghan or Harry will ever come back. Now, Harry might come back and do some engagements or something like that on a as need basis, but Meghan ain't never coming back to that place. I would be shocked if she ever showed up at that place to do any kind of work for that institution. Meghan has moved on. All right, let's go on. It said, although neither side has definitely ruled out meeting in or out in response, despite a thawing in relationships with which saw Charles send Harry a public birthday wishes on social media recently, and Harry declined to update his memoir Spare with new revelations for the paperback edition. Well, Harry did show grace on that. Because if it had been me, no grace would have been seen. I'm sorry. I would have absolutely put the screws to them after this week of how they have treated his wife, how they have continued their campaign to smear, belittle, and malign her. I would have absolutely went through them 400 pages that I had that I took out of Spare and found 1 or 2 juicy bits to throw in the paperback Spare. Just to let them know, stop it, because we have more to come. We have more to talk about. But like I said, they're better people than me, but that's what I would have done. I'm just saying. All right, it said, however, Charles will be in Scotland next week, and the Daily Beast has confirmed that there is no intentions of travel, while Harry is expected to be based in London. I tell you what, I am so tired of this though. My whole thing, I am worn out with this. when somebody said that they have moved on and you continue to rehash, rewind, whine, regurgitate, just re all of it. I have just never saw people who just continue the same thing going around in a circle and never stopping to say, maybe it's time to go in a straight line because we ain't getting nowhere here. But these people just go on and on and on. And it's not just the royal family, it's the media, it's the same. They get on these panels. I saw one the other day. I played one on this podcast yesterday, and they sit there and talk about it over and over and over and over again. I just have never saw anything like it. I have never saw anything like it. And Harry is moved on. He's gone, gone. And they still talking about if I had one nickel, one, that every time I read an article or saw a panel that they said that Harry and his wife left in 2020, I would never, ever have another need in my life because my pockets would be fat. Because it's over and over and over in every article just about you read. It's about Harry and Meghan leaving in 2020. These people do not want to let it go. And here Charles and his horse going over the same thing over and over, still trying to paint Harry in a bad light. And we all know what happened this week with Meghan. They still on that same old grind. And it is so tiring. It is so exhausting. But as a squatty, with a podcast, I have to keep going because as long as they don't stop, we don't stop. Because if they wear us down, then the only voice out there will be theirs. So as long as they talk about it, I got to talk about it. I got to push back. And I'll tell you the reason why I know our pushback is working. It's in here. It says this. It says, meanwhile, Charles reminded of his mortality following his diagnosis with cancer, for which he has undergone grueling treatment. See how they just want to try to play on your sympathy? Would like to heal the relationship with Harry, both for a personal reason and to ease pressure on the monarchy itself. Where do you think that pressure came from? Huh? Where do you think it came from? It came from the pushback. It came from the squatties all over the world who has refused to allow them to destroy this couple and who makes it their life mission to expose anything and everything that they can expose about that nonsense called a monarchy. That's what it is. And that's how I know, and that is why I said pushback is so important. Let's go on. I said about that. And it says, the friend said the king has an instinctive impulse towards Christian reconciliation. Really? Hmm. I tend to differ, but okay. And his cancer diagnosis has only sharpened that. He wants this settled, not just because he loved both of his sons. No, not just because of that. Charles don't know how to love anybody besides himself and his horse. And it says, but because it has been so destabilizing for the monarchy. Why do you think it's been so destabilizing for the monarchy? Because of people like you and me. That's why. Because every time they climb up on a Jeep, we make fun of them for that nonsense. Because every time they try to smear Megan, we push back on that nonsense and start digging into the person who wrote the article and trying to see what the connections are and expose them. It's like every time they do something, it's like hitting a hornet's nest with a stick, and we come flying out, us squatties do, and we start to sting. That is why. We are why. And we are going to continue it. It is sometimes I am not going to lie. I am not going to lie. Sometimes I get tired. Sometimes I'll even say, I'm just not going to do a podcast. I just can't. But then I say, yeah, I got to. Because every day they wake up and think about how they are going to try to smear this couple, how they're going to destroy this couple, how they're never going to stop. And if I get tired, who is going to push back? I said from the beginning, and if you rewind the podcast all the way, go to the first one, you'll see I said that this podcast was about the pushback. Anytime that I'm challenged about continuing to talk about this stuff, saying we ought to talk about the good stuff that Harry and Meghan does instead of the nonsense, I always say no. This channel is about the pushback, and look what the pushback has made them admit. It has made them admit that their treatment of Harry and Meghan, which forced them out, and since they have left, they have spawned the Sussex Squad, and their monarchy is disstable. It says, let me read it again. He said he wants this settled, not just because he loves both his sons, but because it has been so destabilizing for the monarchy. You think it would have been destabilizing if it hadn't been for the Sussex Squad and good people who saw how they was trying to destroy this couple, trying to bury them in the dirt, and they didn't push back without Tina and Michelle? Do you honestly think it wouldn't be no? It would be that monarchy wouldn't they wouldn't be admitting that it was destabilized, because it wouldn't be. They would have did what they set out to do, and that is to put Harry and Meghan in the dirt, have them begging. You remember when they got ready to leave, or right after they left, they made all those cartoons saying Harry was going to be working at Burger King or McDonald's, or they were going to be outside of Buckingham Palace with Meghan with that, had a cartoon of her in a raggedy old blanket, and Harry asking one of the guards for a couple of bucks. You remember a couple of pounds? You remember that? That's what they wanted from Megan. They had them out there camping behind. They were homeless. Had a cartoon of them homeless, camped out, sitting around a campfire with the babies. That's what they wanted. They wanted to break them all the way down. But the squatty said no. They said no. And we push back every time they do some nonsense. Every time, like I said, like this nonsense in the Hollywood Reporter, they still digging stuff up about him. Like I said, they are. It is pictures right now on X and them tagging him, and he is pictured with FF. You know who I'm talking about? Talking about. You know the one that Andrew was involved in. I can't say the other part of it because YouTube is real sensitive about if you use Prince and him together, those two words together, and FF. But yes, They found a picture of him with Ep and found out that Ep actually gave money to one of his businesses. Yeah, he was involved in all of that. That the squatters will continue to dig. They did not expect what they got. A fierce group of people, smart people, who was willing to push back and to dig. I will post, I think, I don't know if I bookmarked it or not, but if I bookmarked it, I'll put that picture of him and Ep up here. If you don't see it, it's because I couldn't find it, okay? But yes, they have that. The squatties do not play. They don't. And that is why it's destabilized. All right. Let's go on. It says his son and the heir William is very clear views on the matter of this of his brother. So he want to go in and talk about William thinks that because Harry said something about Kate. Well, what he said about Kate was true. She did do that. She tried to destroy Megan's wedding. She was a biatch. She was. And then she showed up what I feel is a white dress, and I got some evidence that it's a white dress. That's something we are discussing, presently discussing over on our community page. And I said, I'm gonna let everybody have their opinion, and then I'm gonna post what I have found that other people who were saying that that outfit was a white outfit to somebody else's wedding. And even if it wasn't white, it was too close to white because it was so close to white it causes confusion. She did that. Tell me that's not a biatch. It is. I'm just saying. And she did all of that. And then we're not even go into the petty stuff because we're going to go into that when I have, like I said, I'm going to dedicate time to just go back every now and then and really talk about different events that they have and how they have treated Harry and Meghan. And I'm going to do one on the wedding or what went down during that time and what they were up to. We're going to talk about that, but not today. But we're going to continue to talk about this. So Camilla is said by friends to be one of those who has not encouraged a meeting with Harry, and she does not want her husband to be subjected to unnecessary stress. Like what Harry gonna say? What is Harry gonna say to stress Charles out? What is he gonna say? And with Harry, and she does not want her husband to be subjected to unnecessary stress before his trip to Australia in mid-October. So um, they're going to Australia. Good luck, Australia. And it says the trip has been reconstructed and dramatically shortened in view of Charles' ongoing cancer treatment, ongoing cancer battle. The king's health will be under a microscope. The friend of Camilla said that she has been the principal voice urging Charles to slow down and to take it easy. The last thing she wants is to do is to stress to get. The last thing she wants him to do is to get stressed out by meeting with Harry. Like I said, like Harry gonna come in there kicking down doors and turning over tables. Stop it. Stop it. And let's see what else. It says Charles has only met face to face with Harry once this year, which is scandalous. And it says the Daily Beast understand that Camilla was also present at the meeting. You remember it was a debate if she was there or not. So she would not, she was up in the meeting with Harry. That's probably the reason why it was 30 minutes long. marking the first time that they had spoken face to face. And I want y'all to listen to, I almost called her a bitch. I almost did. I'm governing myself. But when I heard this, I'm telling you, I had to just really, really, really gather myself to keep from calling her that because this is exactly what she's been. Listen to this. The Daily Beast understands that Camilla was also present at the meeting, marking the first time they had spoken face to face since he cast toxic aspersions on her in his memoir and in interviews promoting it, saying she was prepared to leave bodies in the streets in her quest to be made queen. Why's she mad about that? Is he lying? No, she's not mad about it because she thinks he's lying because she knows he's not lying. She mad about it because he told it. He called her out. He put it on Front Street and she didn't like that. That's all that is. And then he said, and Harry did not apologize to her at that account. Wait a minute. Harry did not apologize to her at that encounter for his remarks. The Daily Beast has been told by a friend of Camilla's. Yay, Harry! Don't you apologize to that witch. Why would Harry want to apologize for something that was did to him? These people are crazy, and I love it that Harry would not apologize. Harry has grace, but Harry, he got a little in him too. Why would he apologize to that wicked witch? You done treated me like you know what, and then you expect me to apologize because I put it on Front Street. How she got the nerve? Harry did not apologize to her at the encounter for his remark. The Daily Beast has been told by a friend of Camilla's. Camilla told him that. And it's good to know, isn't it? Oh, Lord. See, my day keeps getting better. I found out that Harry did not apologize to that witch because I'm telling you, I would have felt some kind of way about it. I really would. Anyway, all I can say is this. I'm going to put up this post right here, and it says, this is what the toxic media doesn't want you to see. That the fact that the heir and his maybe wife are in the shadow of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan. And you also can add, you see Kate and William's little picture, you can also add uh, Charles and Camilla. And they all know it. They know who the boss is. They know who people love the most, who is the most talented, who is the smartest, who the best looking is. They know all of that. But they want to try to pretend different, but they know everybody know. Everybody who has two eyes know, two ears to hear. We all know. And I love that for them. I love that they have to live in Harry and Meghan's shadow. Mm, it's so sweet. I'm telling you. My day keeps getting better. And also I want to talk about this. I'm gonna put this up there. This we're just gonna go through a little bit of Harry's week and give him some flowers because Harry did his thing this week. And I just got to give him his props, his flowers. I got to. And this person said this. It says Prince Harry's transformation from working royal to global advocate is now complete. And we talked about that article yesterday that was written about that. It is complete. He he sealed the deal this week. And them folks over there know he did. And they know when the former prime minister is clout chasing, they know who the boss is. They know who the boss is. He is clout chasing. Now he don't have enough clout for his of his own. He got to chase after Harris. Now tell me who the boss is. I'm just. And it was another one I wanted to do. Where is it? Oh, okay. And I just wanted us to go over some of the pictures. Here's Harry and the Queen. You know, he had that dinner at the what is it? World's Health Organization, WHO. He went to that dinner on Sunday with the Queen of Belgium, Queen Matilda, and the Prime Minister, and some other dignitaries there. I think Forrest Whitaker was also there. Yeah. And of course, he was at the Diana Awards and just doing his thing. He was with the CEO. Her name is Tessa Ojo, and some of the recipients. And Harry said that they gave him so much hope. Those young people. Yeah, Harry. And then of course, my favorite was at the Clintons Global Initiative. That presentation was a 10 out of 10. I must say. I mean, when Harry stepped on that stage, the backdrop, everything, the way he worked the stage, he walked the stage, he acted. I mean, his presentation is just gotten to be top tier. And then they showed all those lock screens of the kids who had unalived themselves, but because of social media, and that was the backdrop, and he was still doing his talk, and at the end of it he got a standing ovation. It was great. And then of course he saw Chef Jose Andre caught up with his friend, the friend that they say somehow now works for William, or William stole or snagged away, all kinds of adjectives they use. In actuality, these people are grown ups. They are focused on helping people. They're not focused on that knick-knack, paddywhack nonsense that William is into. Trying to one up his brother, trying to trail behind him. It's ridiculous. Anyway, and we all know that Chef Andre. Well, he it's called Jose Andre Foundation, I think it is, organization, foundation, or whatever, is actually participating in Harry's trip to Africa, South Africa, and Lesotho. They're going to be involved in that. They're partnering with Harry and Archwell. Well, Cinnabali. Yeah, that's grown up stuff. That mess that William is talking about just because Jose Andre is going to sit on the board. I bet you there's so many boards that Jose Andre sits on. Do they not know how the world works, or are they that mediocre over there in Kensington Palace that they don't know how to work? All they know how to do is slime people. If they concentrated on actually getting stuff done and learning how to move in this world and actually trying to refocus on helping people, they maybe would make some ground and learn something. But they too busy trying to slime people, trying to dim other people's lives light, so somehow they little light seem brighter. It's ridiculous. All right, and this one with Harry at Halo. This is a new shot. I hadn't saw this one before. The Halo Trust. Yeah, it looks so impressive. Yeah. And then he was at African Parks with Ron Walton, the owner of, well, he is one of the owners of Walmart. The Walton family is the owner of Walmart. And he also owns the Denver Broncos, I think. Yeah. And Katie Couric, she was the moderator. And it was very, very impressive. Love it, love it, love it. And this was him with his Lesotho family. And he gave such a beautiful speech talking about the country of Lesotho and how it is his second home. He considers it his second home. And Prince Cisse was talking about Harry. We talked about yesterday. Harry has a royal name in Lesotho. It's just great. And look at him bringing things back to his second home, trying to improve people's lives. I love that. I love that. And I want to end with this particular um, post, and it says Harry and Meghan knows that they are supported by hundreds of millions globally. They respond to their supporters, not their critics. Everyone's life experiences are their own, and they can share what they choose. And that's true. And that especially true about is hundreds of millions. Their supporters, they're supported by hundreds of millions globally. Absolutely. And that is why the monarchy is disabled. That's why the pushback. And they're always going to get the pushback. And also, I wanted to highlight what the quote that she put under there. And it's what Harry said. And I wish these people would do the same. But Harry has accepted, and he now sees who they are and see them for what they are. And he said this: I've had to make peace with the fact that we're probably never going to get a genuine accountability, a genuine apology from my family. My wife and I, we're moving on. We're focused on what's coming next. Harry's moved on. We're stuck back here with these folks who refuse to move on. But we have to keep fighting. We have to keep pushing back, even though it gets tiring sometimes. We have to push back because when we leave it to just their voice, then people start believing them. So we have to deal with the nonsense, even though sometimes it does get tiring, and I know it does. It does for me. But then I'm refreshed by the fact when I find out that they know about us, and we are winning. All right, y'all. You know what that means? That means that it's time to go. So, and for me to remind Harry that listen, these people don't have your best interests at heart. Always know that they always have the knives out for you. They will shank you any at a drop of a hat. And don't eat them people's food. Bye, y'all.